cool and wet start to spring may be forcing farmers to plant corn late this season.
News 18's Amber Hardwick has an update on spring planting and why Purdue researchers aren't too concerned at this point.
The cool and wet start to spring is delaying farmers from planting corn. Purdue Corn Extension Specialist Bob Nielsen says the bulk of the corn crop is typically planted the last week of April through mid-May.
With that in mind, we're maybe only a week behind the usual pace, and that's one of the reasons why we're really not too concerned at this point.
Nielsen says farmers and researchers are waiting for the prime time to plant the corn.
Double checking, making the last minute checks on equipment, last minute checks on plans, and simply doing everything that's necessary so that when the opportunity does open up, you're ready to hit the fields and start running.
Indiana State Associate Climatologist Ken Skaringa says May average high temperature in Lafayette is around 72 degrees. The average rainfall is 4 3/4 of an inch. News 18's Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans says the weather next week looks favorable for farmers.
The soils are going to warm up very nicely. We've got the first 80s of the season on the way, and also it appears that rainfall is going to run below normal, at least initially, into next week.
Nielsen says about 8% of the corn has been planted statewide. He says he's expecting more to be planted in the next week.
I suspect yet this week and into next week we're going to see many more folks begin to hit the fields and begin planting, because I think the weather is finally going to shape up for us.
Nielsen says having a late planting season does not necessarily determine less yield at the end of the year. He says the weather during the summer also affects it. Amber Hardwick,